Okay. Welcome everyone to the August 7th regular Board of Education meeting, and kind of second official for Mr. Fetter. Welcome and joining us. We can call the meeting to order at, what is it, 6:04. And raise to say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Quick roll call, please.
Kate Wilpemar, present. Megan Wick, present. Kathy Grant might be attending virtually, we're not sure yet. Arika Kalwara, here. Valerie Musciano, here. Sarah Thompson, here. Christopher Wilson is absent at the moment. Also, Scott Fetter. Hello. And Dee Dr. Board.
Great.
A notebook replaced by a computer.
I know.
Can't do paper.
Yep, right. It's so weird.
Do you keep,
I'm looking like, what is that thing?
do you keep trying to print stuff out for me? Like, please don't.
I was just bringing it to you. I'm going to give it to you. I know that.
You'll get us all turned around soon too. Yeah. The mission statement for the Voluntown Board of Education's mission is to provide our students the skills essential to reach their highest potential in a safe environment for learning as they aspire to become responsible, respectful, and civic-minded members of society. We commit to help educate, challenge, and inspire each child to excel as lifelong learners who can adapt constructively in an ever-changing, multicultural, and technological world. Just so you know, we do that at the start of every meeting. Great. So there aren't any guests or public comments that we see or heard before. So we can move right along to the consent agenda. At this point, if we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None heard? And motion passes. Now we can move along to the administrative reports. I think we just have Mr. Fetter's report, the superintendent report.
All right. Well, I wanted to share with the board and anyone watching that over the last month, in the first month, I've been spending a lot of time trying to learn. Doing a lot. I've met with Tracy Hansen, our first selectman, Julie Zielinski, our finance director, Kelly Madera, township treasurer. I'm with a fellow superintendent, Roy Seitsinger, over in Preston, Dan Murphy, our board attorney, and various groups of different personnel in the district leadership positions in the district, teachers, and pretty much anyone who's willing to come and say hello. And it has been truly a great learning experience because the big challenge of moving from state to state is the different rules that exist. And I was talking with Dee Dee about this, and I was comparing it to like if someone goes to play Monopoly at someone else's house, and they've made new Monopoly rules. Like that's a game that almost everybody has their own in-house rules about Monopoly.
Right.
So if you keep playing Monopoly the way you play Monopoly in someone else's house, it's not going to necessarily work. You're not going to play the right strategy. So I'm learning Connecticut's Monopoly rules. Really is how that's going. And the biggest part of that really is related to finance and how the township and the school interfaces, which is completely different from New Jersey, completely different. And as a result of that, it's been pretty cool to learn how in the end, while it's completely different, it isn't really all that different. In the end, we spend money to do good things for kids. We manage money to make sure the taxes are managed. We work together with the town to interface anytime there's a chance to interface and save the town money and still do great things, right? So all of those things are not different. How you get there is different. And I think one of the key takeaways so far that I've shared with anyone who would listen at the township, and they've all listened, so thank you to all of them, the terminology of expenditure-only budget was not registering, and I call it my New Jersey brain. That just wasn't making any sense to me.
Hello?
Uh-oh.
Hi
Hi,
Kathy,
Kathy.
we can hear you.
Oh, hi. I finally got in, I think. Okay. I'm at work, so I might have to leave it in a posting.
Okay.
Do you have a quorum?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So, while we operate on the expense side of the budget, the township operates on the revenue side as well as the expenditure side. But it isn't, what I'm finding is it does connect. It's just how you connect it. So I'm learning how to do that. And that's been great. Julie Zelinski, can't remember if I met her today, I think it was yesterday. Absolutely wonderful in supporting my learning. Tony Madera, Tracy Hansen have been excellent. And of course, all the ladies in the office are continuously stuck with me, trying to learn this stuff as they know what they're doing, and I'm fumbling through it. But that has really been important. And I think I'm in a very good position. I didn't think I'd be this far, to be honest with you, but it's been through the help of all these people. So that's been the focus for me, so that when we get to budget season, we can maximize all the elements that go into a budget to continue doing great things for kids at the lowest cost for our taxpayers. And so I think I'll be significant contributions to, based upon what I'm learning from everybody. So I thank them again publicly. One thing I'll share with the board, so you are aware, this is my final month of managing 2 districts at the same time. So my schedule is still a little bit wonky. As I explained to Kate, with that said, I err on the side of more, not less, when it comes to here. So my schedule this month, up until now, I'm working through the 11th, and then I'm going to come back on the 22nd through the 29th. The reason is I want to be here for the whole first week of school. And so to get there, I need to kind of fumble around some other dates in my calendar. But rest assured, I will always be doing everything needed. It doesn't matter if I'm physically here or not, I still do whatever has to be done. So, but that's my physical time is up until the 11th, so I'll be here Monday. And from the 22nd, which is Friday, all the way through the following Friday, and school starts with teachers on 25th. And so I would never want to miss that and get to meet all the kids and stuff. So good stuff. I think all this other stuff you kind of have. It's just getting through. I think for me, the basis of what I wanted to share was really about the financial side and learning the various roles, and having these supports has been huge. And Kate answered the phone when I called, which is cool. So I do appreciate it.
I know. I was explaining to him I don't obviously want to overwhelm Scott either. He's got a lot of things he's got to pick up and a lot of appointments because he's got to make time for all these different groups. And I'm so happy that the town hall has really been, awesome and helpful. And as I knew they would be, but it's knowing that we have such a strong relationship of needing to work in that space. So the expenditure only is unique. And but anyway, so I said, feel free to call me. That's fine. I'm totally willing. Adam would call me regularly, and I just pick up when I can. So we've had our good catch up. So we're all on a good foot forward, which is great. And excited to push ahead on the agenda because you're pretty solid on all of it. So that's great.
Good stuff. That's better for.
Okay. Any specific questions for Scott before we move ahead? Okay. Then we can move on to old business. The central office building name, I know Tracy was she was asking a few questions around it. So that's still kind of ongoing, and that's on me to just bug her about. So it'll be a fall follow-up. Item number 2, the school lunch prices for 2025-26. I think, sure. Scott has a.
So it's definitely not a great spot to be in to welcome to Voluntown, spend more money, everybody. However, inflation is real. The cost of product is more, the cost of staff is more. So in talking to some surrounding places and meeting with Tom O'Connor and Amy, I'd like to recommend to the board not a 25-cent increase, but a 15-cent increase, which would match Preston, our neighboring district, to have lunch become to $3.90 rather than $4. Right now, it is $3.75. Not that I think 15 cents is meaningless, but in the aggregate for the district, the 15 cents adds up a lot when you add up all the number of lunches we serve. And we leave breakfast where it is, leave everything else where it is, but allow us to recoup a little bit. We have to stay in the positive on this account, and this will help us make sure we do. So the recommendation to the board is to increase it by 15 cents, and that would be the motion that you might want to discuss. I would stop there for a minute and see if there's discussion or what y'all think about that.
So that's adequate coverage for all, like you mentioned
We
before,
believe
inflation.
it'll do it.
You'll be able to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit better than we left off last time,
I
so.
know.
That was the idea. Can we do a little bit better? Just a
Yeah.
little bit?
390.
Because there'll
That's-
probably be some more next year, so it kind of gives a little bit of that buffer, maybe up to 4 next year, depending on.
Let's not rip the
The
Band-Aid
the
off.
reality is there's not a lot of places to reduce expense. So we're already kind of cut pretty thin. There isn't massive amounts to say, well, we're not gonna do X. We kind of don't already do more than we need to do. So it's really just a matter of the cost to do business, and the cost to do business involves, like any other business that anyone else is in, it's staffing costs and product costs. And to say we're only looking at about a 3% increase is about what the world is seeing right now. And we think it's reasonable and measured.
It'd be great if farmers had product that they could donate to the school and help that a little bit.
Yeah, local
They have
farms.
all kinds of rules from the state.
Do they? So it's not even like we
Does it
can
help?
do our farmers market and then bring the rest of it in? There's,
I mean, I would love to explore and see what's possible. It's probably not as easy as that. It's probably not as, hey, I'm gonna drop off the lettuce today and just have us start doing that. It's probably not that simple, but maybe there's a way, and we certainly have the farms,
Mhm.
you know.
I know, we were just even spitballing, and this goes back to like nutrition and different committees and things we've talked about, and, you know, the amount of cucumbers that we produce in this area, you know, that's what kids like to eat, so it's like, why not grab all the cucumbers, or apples or something, you know? and-
Apples and Kirby.
Yeah.
Zucchini sticks, something.
Right, but we understand there are, and Tom knows that too, but it's,
I'll speak to Tom, so Dee Dee, if you can just make sure I speak to Tom and find out what the rules are, or what are the requirements, or what it might take, and then we can see if it's even viable. If it's viable,
they might be doing some of it too.
They do, and
They do
I
it.
They
know-
do.
I know Corinne, sometimes he has Corinne pick stuff up from
That's great.
locals.
Yeah, I thought Corinne was doing that, especially for some of the really
They try.
low hanging fruit.
Right.
Like that.
but I mean, even supporting some of the farms, right? 'Cause I mean, there's farms in Voluntown that are saying like, you know, come buy our cucumbers. Well, in the fall, why can't we do that at a cheaper cost than buying it elsewhere? And support kind of the farmers that are around here too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that would be, if there's no other discussion, that would be just a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. Motion passes to approve the increase to $3.90 for just the full day
Dee Dee
lunch.
behind you, Kathy, was saying yes. Kathy, you were saying yes? Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing that extra due diligence for us to get us more comfortable on the state of the union with that. Okay. Item number, now we're on to high school choices, number 3. We have policy updates for that. So, do you want to start? Yeah, why don't we just
So we have two policies that address this, 5111-.11 and 3340. You have already had a first read on 5111.11, but nothing to do with 3340. So as I shared with you in the update, we are able to actually pass them both tonight. But we want to go over with you, is this a good time, Kate, Sarah, to just, as I talk about this, to kind of include our conversation from today?
Yeah.
So we did have a meeting today with, this is the committee that's called the Junior High School Choice or High School? Junior- Transition team, consisting of teachers, Amy and Sarah, Kate, and myself. Jackie, who is a retiree, but still hopping in there. So as has been discussed at the board level, there's some changes coming down the road. And these changes are coming down the road without really much impact to the community, which is nice. I think that people might think it's a bigger impact than it is. And I think that's what we're going to help try and explain through a very deliberate communication structure that we went over today to all of our constituents in the town. And the LS Tech is one where we would be removing designation from certain schools. I want to explain what that means. So removing the designation from, let's say, LS Tech does not mean a student cannot go to LS Tech. What it means is in 2028, we would stop transporting at this time. That sounds scary, but the reality is we have transportation for the next 3 years, which means if a student was to get in next year for the 26-27 school year, they would still have transportation. And as there's no cost to LS Tech, there's no impact at that point. However, we want our parents and students to know that in their final year, there would be no transportation. Now, this was the result of the state moving to a lottery system for these tech schools. And for this year, for example, while we had applicants for LS Tech, we had no students get into LS Tech. If that maintains and nothing changes in the state, we could reach the point where we're transporting for $30,000 to $40,000 one student. And while you'd hate to ever take away an option for a student without another option in its place, the district can't afford $30,000 or $40,000 for one student for transportation. Even though the tuition is free, the transportation would be overwhelming and could be problematic. The good news, and we'll explain this again in a full presentation to the parents and impacted students and community, is the board has every right to revisit this. And I would be encouraging the board to revisit this should things change with students getting enrolled or the state changes their process or we start having students getting in. So there's nothing that stops the district at any point from changing its designations. We also don't want to not encourage students to apply, knowing that as long as you, I talked about the rules before, as long as you know the rules, you can play. So if a parent knows they might be responsible for transportation at a certain date and they want to take that, they can still do that. And you are allowed to continue it as a designated school for that child because we're adding a little thing to the policy. I'm going to read it out loud to you. And that is students attending any high school, not on the district's designated high school list, where there is a cost for tuition, will be required to be disenrolled from the Voluntown School District. That means if your student wants to attend school X, which is not on our designated list, and it costs $10,000 a year, they can attend, of course, but they're no longer a Voluntown student. If there's no tuition, which is LS Tech, for example, they can remain a student, but it's not a designated school. The reason would be, if you make it a designated school, you have to provide transportation. So this allows the best of all worlds. It allows a student to still apply and enroll. It allows the board at a future date, should you see there more students are getting in, to revisit your decision. Your decision is being made, and I'm still an outsider a little bit of this, but in evaluating the decision, it's very sensible. I know there'll be people that might not, but fully understand it. We're going to help understandings around this so that they see that there's not really much being taken. It's the same way for marine science magnet. The difference from marine science magnet is that school will become undesignated, but there's a tuition. So that school would not qualify to allow you to stay a Voluntown student.
Just so I understand, what is the reason for having them disenroll? What is that?
So a student that is no longer involved at all in your school district must disenroll.
Okay.
So if you wanted a student, if your child was going to a private school,
Mhm.
they can't go to a private school and be enrolled in Voluntown. We're opening a bit of a back door for Ellis Tech and any other tech school that you do not have designated.
So they can't, or we're choosing not to have them. I guess I'm just not familiar with what does that mean that you're, like, what are the benefits that those students are losing as of not being, I mean, obviously they're losing the benefit of the transportation and the tuition
They lose
to a correct, which doesn't matter because they're going to a private school or whatever.
Yeah.
But what does, outside of those two things, what does that mean?
If you
in
go
terms
to
of
a private
education?
school, for example, then that's your designated school.
Mhm.
You've made a decision to not have your child in the public school system.
Yeah.
And I've made a choice to have my child in the private school system. So whatever Voluntown does for students does not pertain to that student. That's the way it is now. So we're not changing that.
Mhm.
That's not new.
Yeah.
The new line isn't about who disenrolls. It's opening
It's
a
that
back
the
door to let the Ellis
Ellis
Tech
can still
remain.
be, right? But are there benefits to being enrolled?
For the district, it's good. I mean, any state aid, any sports,
Okay.
and things they still might want to do as a member of Voluntown Elementary School District could
Okay.
still happen for them. But that doesn't exist for a private school.
So just hypothetically, and I won't get into the weeds too much, but I'm just hypothetically thinking. So we don't have obviously high school, so we don't have like high school sports or something, but say down the road, we decide we want to work something out with Griswold, where all of our high school students can play on Griswold sports teams.
Mhm.
Somebody who's choosing to go to a private school would not get that benefit because they are not enrolled as a
That's right.
Voluntown
They don't get it
student.
now and they wouldn't get it then.
Okay, so it's those extracurricular sports that is the
They
disenrollment.
already don't.
Understood, and
so-
realistically, all of the high schools we send to have their own sports teams, so it's not, but I'm just trying to understand like what that means.
It's just a back door.
Okay.
For
And then we would likely
those scenarios.
revisit and redesignate if we needed to,
Mhm.
like, make sure that happened. That's what I was saying about even Marine Magnet, like, we were similarly thinking about it. You know, they similarly have the lottery system, we've
Mhm.
got lower enrollments, very few people getting in. You know, so financially, it's harder and harder to
Right, to
justify that.
justify that.
But if we do get, you know, their change in their application process or whatever, and we want to revisit,
Sure.
we can go back to the designation and then that disenrollment stuff all goes away, you know,
Sure.
but it's got to be the case for it.
The disenrollment language was not about removing anything.
Right,
It was about maintaining.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
We
first sounds a
also-
little bit, yes.
well, and I mean, it's, I feel like it's so, because we have so many choices, we don't
Yes.
really ever even need to talk about this, so it has never really come up, so I was just kind of curious.
What you've done though, you're taking something away technically as a
Mhm.
designated list. So, but you're not trying to take it away, you're trying to manage the
Sure.
fiscal side of it without
Sure.
losing it. This was a way to do that
Right,
and allows you to maintain the student, even
right.
though without having to transport, which
The
is the
tough
part you
thing
won't be able
though
to do.
is the parents encouraging their students to apply for those, knowing that even if they get in, they're not gonna have the transportation,
But you
so.
would only do that if you were prepared for that outcome.
Correct, what I'm saying is, we're gonna see the numbers of actually applying to Ellis dwindle because they know,
That's
which
right.
then hurts us on the back end, because if we could have had those students get in, we wouldn't have had to pay those tuitions, which, I mean,
Which I think if it wasn't a lottery.
no, I
You know what I
totally,
mean? Yeah.
I totally
Right.
get
It's
why
all
we're
that-
doing
yeah.
it, it's just, it's unfortunate that it's like,
It is
Yep.
unfortunate.
it's
Yeah.
like this, either it's gonna just the gift that keeps on giving kind of thing of like, okay, well now we can't have kids get in, so now we're gonna have, did we take it away, so that means kids aren't going to be applying, which means, right, like it's just, it's sort of a snowball.
But if kids do apply and let's say, you know, miraculously 7 of them get in
Sure.
for that year, then I think that's a revisit.
Yeah,
thing.
no, absolutely, I'm curious if, you know, are the teachers gonna be still really encouraging that
talked about it
applying
today.
to Ellis?
They're coming to the open house
Mhm.
and.
So we're gonna still like heavily
Yeah,
encourage
we-
that?
We still
Okay.
can keep them in because there's no harm to the district in any way. And whenever there's no harm, open up. And, eventually, either the state can change the rules or our students figure out a way to beat the system and we start getting kids in, then you revisit.
Right.
To your point, well, some parents know they can't provide transportation, therefore I'm not gonna put my kid through getting in and then not being able to go.
Correct.
And that's very real.
Right.
So you're trying to bridge as much of the gap as you can, knowing it's not perfect.
Right.
And that extra line was really just about helping.
Right. Just helping eliminate the barriers to have people continue to apply.
The worst barrier would be the lottery continues to go, you don't do this, and we are paying $40,000 a kid to have that kid go to a school.
Right.
That's what you.
But they can apply to Ellis and also like go to NFA too, right? So,
Sure.
Oh, yes.
right,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
not like they're not putting all of their eggs in the
Correct.
Ellis Tech
Right.
basket,
That's
right?
right.
They can,
Right.
Shoot their shot
And
and
they can go to the publics.
yeah, okay, all right.
So
And I
that,
think
but that's
they
exactly
come
correct.
early enough too, that they can kind of. make
Yeah, it's
that
more just the
decision.
education of like the teacher saying, hey, if we have 2 students that get in, it's gonna fiscally make sense, so please continue applying if that's something that you want,
So,
right? That's the conversation of
Part
the
of what we
teacher.
talked about
parent.
today was the rollout of communication,
Mhm.
which is those kind of things.
Mhm.
So we talked about communicating specifically to the students, specifically to the parents of future students. Specifically here, we're gonna take the presentation we do for the families, scale that down for board consumption. And that would be the town. And of course, we have to communicate to the schools that are impacted.
Sure.
So we have a plan in place, or the forging of a plan,
Mhm.
which will be implemented starting in September. And we think it'll be helpful for the community to do the understanding side. And, and again, you'll hear me say a lot of things over and over again. The goal of how I've always tried to operate is the goal is understanding. Agreement is gravy.
Sure.
So if you try to prove something, which is trying to get someone to agree with you, you present differently. If the purpose is to help build understanding whether they agree or not, then you're in a better position.
Right.
So if people can at least understand why the board would even be talking about these things, it makes it easier to, you still might not like it, but it makes it easier to understand. And with the board is already building 2 back doors into this to help kids. You're doing everything you can and being fiscally responsible at the same time, which is hard to always do.
Yeah.
In this particular case, it works out pretty nicely.
Yeah, hopefully the challenge with getting in will just make it so that people aren't applying so much, and then my understanding is it goes to a lottery when there's more request enrollment, basically, that they can support. So then eventually it'll level itself out, and then they'll open it, and then there's always gonna be this, if I had to guess,
Yeah.
but.
Not quite sure, actually, how that system functions yet, so.
I mean, you would think that everybody in this town pays taxes to the state, so we should at least have a slot or 2 that our kids can go.
Yeah, and
That's for
so-
another day, I guess.
That's funny, that's what it was in New Jersey and the
Yeah,
county
you
we
would think
lived
we
in.
would have
Every town
2 spots or whatever.
got 1 qualifying spot. You had to have a qualifying, but 1 qualifying spot to each of the 5 magnets, similar. And
Such different, yeah.
Yeah, completely different. 52 towns
Yeah.
in the county,
Mhm.
and everybody in that got at least 1 if they qualified. If
Competitive.
nobody qualified, well, then you didn't get someone into
Yeah.
that school. And that's how I did it. But maybe they'll continue to grow and play with that. But that's some of them. The other one, which, learning again with this, seems like a really, really, really smart move. Killingly Ag has no students, doesn't seem to be of interest to our students. So the team went out and found Ledyard. Am I saying it right? Ledyard? Ledyard. It says Ledyard.
Yeah,
it's spelled like
Try to spell their mascot at the same time.
So
The
Ledyard,
kernels.
we're going to be adding Ledyard. So at this open house, our students will learn that Ledyard is now an option. Killingly will be removed. Again, 0 impact. And from what I hear, I've not visited yet, but Ledyard seems like an incredible opportunity for our kids. QVCC, again, no students, no real impact. eliminating that as an option. And Maureen and Ellis, we just talked about. That leaves everything else as is. Are recommending from the committee today that the board know they should be revisiting Ellis within 2 to 3 years, Maureen within 2 to 3 to 4 years, so that you are keeping in mind enrollment. And what I'm hearing from Megan, I think there's agreement, the idea of making it clear to kids that they can apply for these
Yeah,
schools.
keep encouraging.
And that's something that they should do, and that they do have, so that no one believes that what if I get in, then my mother says I can't go, then I don't go to high school. You still get to go to, one of the other ones, which is important that they hear that over and over again. We take it for granted what becomes reality for a little kid.
Right.
An eighth grader, sorry, little eighth grader.
Even a parent, I've been trying to
Absolutely.
explain some of why this decision is like, I don't like it any more than anybody else does, but you just can't justify. And even for planning and budgeting purposes, it's like, you don't know, will we have a kid get in? Will we not have it? Like, it's just not
At some point,
fiscally responsible to.
at some point, you won't be being fiscally responsible.
Right,
At some point,
exactly.
Right
If
now
we
it's
even have
fine.
kids get in.
if we have.
Correct. We might be
Which is
looking
why
at
you're
this in
revisiting.
5 years and we have no kids that are there, and it's the same as QVC or, Killingly, where it's like, we just don't have any kids there because nobody could ever get in.
So what I suggest is a motion to approve second read and adoption of 5111.11 and a motion to approve the first read, waive second read, and adopt 3340.
Motion.
We need to, was
Can
this
we
amended?
review?
This is amended.
So as 501
amended.
as amended.
As
Yeah.
amended, okay, all right, yeah, second.
Both of them as
They both
Yeah,
have
okay,
second
both
read,
of
which is
amended. You want that all in one motion?
I would do one motion for both.
Okay.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None heard. Motion passes. Okay.
Look forward to meeting you.
I know, number 4, trade-ins, double bus time, yep. Yeah.
See, Jen, I'm working very hard. While I'm eating sourdough function.
Which are excellent.
Which are absolutely
Very good.
stunning.
Excellent.
Sammy, if you're watching, you need the recipe from Valerie.
So I'm just gonna go get on.
So the trade-in estimate, so as you know, we are purchasing 4 new buses, 3 77 passenger buses and 1 41 passenger bus. Those buses, original hope and estimation of the trade-in of 4 buses was that we would be obtaining $120,000 in trade. Unfortunately, that's very optimistic, but we are only receiving $24,000 in trade.
For all 4?
For all
Correct.
180,000 mile buses, 9-year-old buses. It's what they are. We would be trading those in to the company we are purchasing them from. I have obtained 2 estimates for loans, and I tried to get a third. So any future ones from new banks would take too long. So I'm too late in the game to be able to get any more quotes. So, but I heard great news from a bank I spoke to today, and that bank actually said, the bank that we're going to go with, he doesn't even know he could even come, he doesn't think he can match it anyway, even if he was able to do it. He wasn't sure he could match it. So even though that bank is not viable because of the time frame, he was very complimentary of the rate we had.
What they got, yeah.
So that was good. So, but here's the question. So we budgeted $99,000. Due to the lesser amount on the trade, if we stick with the 5-year, which was the original thought, we'd be over budget by about $15,000 annually, which means we pull $15,000 from somewhere else to cover that. We'd be done in 5 years. The rate we're looking at is a 4.76% rate, which was great because the week before it was higher for only 5 years, and then it went down to 4.76 for 6 years, which usually the longer you go, the higher the rate. So those are 2 very positive things. If we go with a 6-year, we reduce the expenditure from 99 to 92, therefore freeing up $7,000 to be reallocated amongst our budget. The 6 years is not unreasonable. Currently, the township has vehicles on lease at 7 years. Oh, I say lease, it's really a purchase. It's just, it's business terminology, but it's a purchase. If you're buying a car, you'd have a 5-year loan and 60-month loan and you pay it off. You don't have the car at the end. It's the same. So as of right now, there's really not much more to do. I'm looking to close this out on Monday and move forward with a 5 or a 6 year. I have them both sitting on the table right now. So it's a comfort zone for how you want to look at that. It's a 1 year issue in the budget because the following year, of course, we would budget the loan amount to be exactly what it is. Right now, I can't readjust the budget. Finding that much money, can't tell you how hard it will be, but I'm not sure it would be simple. I think the 6 year might be the right move for us for this round. And knowing we're going to be doing this again, probably the next
So
year within 2 years.
That's my question. How is this? So this is for 4 buses.
Yeah.
We know that we need to replace more than just 4.
We do.
How is this decision going to impact that? Does that mean that we're pushing out the remaining ones for 6 years now, and now we can't purchase again?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
That's good. So right now, putting together a full accounting of all the maintenance on a bus. So we're going to be maintaining all of our records. I'm going to go back as far as Crystal can go back. So she knows this is coming because we want to see exactly what we're spending per bus on our maintenance. Because there is a break-even point where it's no longer viable to keep a bus. I have a feeling what we're going to find is we're keeping these buses too long. Therefore, you're at the cost negative on owning the bus, right? So that's going to tell me more about what we need to do next year. But what happens if we're looking at we're spending $15,000 to $25,000 per bus on maintenance? You're swapping money. You're moving money from the maintenance account, which is what Adam did to buy these buses. We reduced the maintenance account into a purchase account. So you can do the same thing again. I just want to make sure I have that accurate. So if it's 2 buses are currently costing us over $20,000, and I can replace them for $23,000, I'm going to replace them for $23,000. That's what I need to do.
That's why I was curious, like, what is the impact of this lengthening going to be when we know that our buses are becoming outdated and we know that for the safety, we're going to need to.
But we'll know
Replace them.
now for the future how long we should be keeping a bus, how many miles we should have on a bus before we decide it's no longer cost effective to maintain the bus. Then it also allows you to purchase differently. You can actually do balloon payments on your buses and then sell them when the balloon payment is ready. So we do that where I am now. We keep buses for 5 years, we sell them every 5 years. We don't keep buses past 5 years. But we lease them differently. So we don't pay an equal amount. We have a buyout after 5 years. And we never do the buyout, we sell the bus instead. Because we know what the bus is worth in a general market based upon how much mileage you put on the bus. And we know what those buses sell for. So I'm going to try and institute something very similar so that we're always ahead of the game and are prepared to do, if it's 1 bus, 2 buses, 3 buses, we can manage those expenses within the budget through maintenance and purchase. Plus talking to the town, looking at how we can use capital money to do some of this as well. So that was another conversation I had with Julie, which was very positive.
So since we're on the transportation piece, has there been any discussion with the town about using their garage to be able to maintain some of our buses?
Dee brought that. So there's no mechanic at the garage.
Right,
So they have a garage, so no mechanic.
right. But if we could hire a mechanic to come in just to service the buses, I think that one of the discussions that was had was the cost of 2 bus drivers going to drop off a bus, coming back.
And 2 buses. So
And
your
2
2
buses.
Your 2 bus drivers drop off, come back.
Right, so what would there be a cost savings
That's
if,
what
let's say
Dee
we,
asked me about this, and I
Like
once
don't
a
remember
month.
this, but now.
yeah, let's say we have
Like
a
a contract.
right, so I was
Sorry,
trying to
no.
look for the word, no, that's perfect. As a contracted service, we have a mechanic who comes in and says, Saturdays or I'm gonna work for you guys and service all of the buses, but be able to do that out of the town garage so that
So do
we're
you-
gonna cut back on the,
Now I understand what
Yeah.
my
Driving and all
task is.
Yeah, I think it's maybe
Because it
just
can
like a financial analysis.
Yeah.
Just model the 2
They
separate.
can only do so much.
I can tell you what we're
repair
doing now with the
outside
repairs
by-
is, I'm signing purchase orders too many a day. So that's what brought me to, we have to get under the skin of what we're spending on these maintenance things. And is there a cheap way to do maintenance? I mean, we definitely don't have enough buses to hire, and we know that, but maybe there's a way to do what you're talking about. I don't know what the garage is outfitted for, but I can find out.
Yeah, it might just be
Is
your
your-
routine maintenance, but you still have to send it if there's like an
Where is it
actual.
now?
Right now, we have to do it if anything.
Correct, now it's everything, but now if you're doing like monthly oil changes, I don't know if you do oil changes.
We do company
but-
that
I think we do everything.
What?
Company.
Corvallis and Gary's.
Oh, Corvette, okay, that's what you're saying.
Gary's for tires, Corvallis,
So we go to different places for different.
and we buy our stuff from other places.
But I
And
mean,
nothing's
even if we
under-
just did the oil changes.
That's what I'm
And
saying, like your
nothing's under
routine, like
warranty
if it's
right
once a
now.
month or once a week.
Beyond warranty.
All right, we're not mechanics
Okay.
or on the transportation committee right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But
No,
yes,
I mean,
agree.
I was
Exactly.
curious where
Yeah.
that was
Is that
gone.
me?
Oh, now you're taking it up into
Write
again.
it down, already.
Does that always happen?
No,
Yes.
Just leave it, just leave it, it's not a big deal.
Okay, I will.
Happens once a
Can
week,
I
it
ask
happens
one
once a
other,
week.
can I just ask one other ask as part of the transportation committee that is not the transportation committee? Um, Can we, like, once school starts, can we just keep an eye on those signs that we painstakingly spent like a year and a half trying to get that mostly don't work? At least when I drive, has
Yeah.
anybody ever
You
seen
mean
those
this,
things
you
work?
mean this?
Yeah.
The yellow
Signs,
blinkers?
the
Yellow
blinking, that are supposed to tell you that you're going too fast or you're, like, I swear they
From this
literally
direction
never
it
work.
does, But I've never seen it work going
Can
this
we, like,
direction.
Just try to have the town
I have the
hall,
opposite
like, make
experience.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
coming
that.
from Rhode Island.
Is the town
Into-
put
It's town, not county?
No, so the town had to, it's a state road, but from what I understand, the town had to do all of the
And we
install.
maintain?
We had an electrician, I believe that the town hired, come and unwire wire.
We will look.
But I don't think they worked at all last year. They may have blinked. Did they blink?
I remember seeing
They
It's
read
slow down
during
when the
school
truck in front of
hours.
me
Yes,
was going
during
too
school
fast.
hours, yeah,
But
during
they,
school
but they
hours.
don't work.
they
Like, we
work.
cannot, they,
No, during
no,
school.
they don't work.
They flash at you when you're going.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some flash, but
You get one little circle dot.
I saw that one circle, but they did work at one.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they just,
Yes.
the majority of the time they don't work.
I'm gonna bring us back to,
Sorry,
I got you.
not
So I'm
transportation.
gonna bring it back to, are you good with 6 years?
Yes.
Yep, do you need a motion for that?
No, I don't.
Sorry.
Just wanted to have.
Non-transportation.
I just wanted to make sure that
No, it's a good.
how
I-
the
same thing, I don't
domino
wanna-
effect would be.
Correct. I mean, 5 years is better than 6, don't get me wrong, but
The interest rate's like.
The 4.76 is good.
it was a good rate for 6 years.
Yeah, okay.
So-
And the
This is
7,000
good.
cost savings out of our current budget.
Well, allows us to spend 8 elsewhere rather than find 14 from
Yeah,
somewhere else.
right.
So it's a big, this is a big difference, so.
I
Thank
told
you.
him how Adam would work through certain years where he would just pay down certain payments.
Yeah,
and
he would
things
take
like
extra
that.
money,
Yeah.
just.
But I see angles for all that, yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's good practice, so I think doing 6 is just, more a budget-friendly way to do things, and then we.
Yeah, I mean, if we throw the extra 7 at it, then you're at 5.5.
You could do
instead of
that, you
6.
could just drop it off, correct?
Okay.
All right, thank you, everyone.
All right. So then we have, item number 5 is the town approved budget for 2025-26. So I'd like to thank everyone that's watching and all the community for going out for that, that last final vote in July to push forward our final proposals in the budget. It's a meager number, but we'll do our very best. And thoughts on our future with this
Yeah,
number.
I'm gonna spend a lot of time on this, so not tonight, don't worry, not tonight, but in general on education. Because that's the biggest part of a budget is people understanding how this all works. Why, generally, anyone who's in charge of other people's money will generally be accused of mismanaging it. That's the way, it's the nature of, because it's impacting them. And when my money is, I have to spend more money, it's someone's fault. The idea behind this is to educate on how that isn't a fault, it's a reality, but not because of malfeasance, mismanagement, and all that. It's understanding what goes into a budget and the realities of all of our lives, how things are more the next year than they were the year before. So I've had good success with that in my career, and I'm looking forward to doing that here. And what I really found, I think I have a partner in the town with this as well, which is nice. So to be able to do it, because in learning how it functions in Connecticut, the town oversees all of it. Now in New Jersey, it's a complete split. The school district is 100% separated from the town. The finances, the decision-making, everything. Here, the decision-making on the school is separated, but the finances are somewhat intertwined. So I think there's real benefit in strong communication and building understanding, and not having people agree that they want to pay more taxes. We will not win that battle. I just found out from Julie yesterday, it's a personal problem. My daughter, who we registered her car in Connecticut, should not have done that. You guys pay tax in Connecticut on cars. You do not pay tax in Jersey or Rhode Island. Big mistake. So I had to buy that car back. Give her $1.
As we are
But
right now paying our car tax. though.
Yes, literally just got them
Yes,
3 days ago.
so Julie actually
You're
went
all
on to the Mansfield tax site and printed out both bills, because we didn't pay last year, so we didn't know there was a bill. So yeah, so I have 2 bills to pay. I actually put them on my daughter's lap. Said, here, these are yours.
You would have found out when she went to re-register it.
We were, yeah. So we found out now. So anyway, it's an understanding. I'm going to work hard and with all of you and with the township in any way that makes sense to really spend time with education on the budget, so that really we can get to common language and common understanding of why it costs more certain years. And it's nothing to do with because people are taking trips to Hawaii or people are doing whatever. It has to do with the realities of things cost more. And the other concept of economy of scale, going down 1 or 2 students or 3 or 4 students doesn't save you money. It just costs more per student than it does. You can't reduce expenditures because 1 student is no longer in a classroom. A classroom of 20 costs the same as a classroom of 19 to educate. And that's another hard concept that non-educators would be like, why? No, it should cost less. Logically, it should absolutely cost less. In reality, it absolutely does not. So you'll have to sit through my presentations. I apologize in advance. Some of them do get a little lengthy. But you will see love and passion in them because I do get into this. And I find it extremely valuable for the community, board members, staff to fully understand what makes up the $7.379 million in this budget. So, more to come.
Okay.
We have to approve the motion right now.
I don't think that. Ooh,
Is that a standard practice thing? Once the town approves it every
Yeah.
year, we've always
Well,
done
I
a
don't have
final.
a town approval, so I
We've
don't
always
have a
done a
standard.
final board approval and I don't know.
Did you confirm it? We do? Yeah, okay, so motion to confirm the town approved Board of Ed budget of $7,379,927.
Okay.
Second.
1.07% increase from last year.
Motion, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard.
I don't know if it's a
Motion
It doesn't do any good.
Yeah, I just, okay.
Okay. Okay, I thought that was, yeah, anyway.
Okay.
So, now we have the updated faculty and staff report. I think it's just.
Yeah, I saw that we got an intern, right?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Mhm.
I've not met him, but Amy speaks
I don't think I
very
made
highly
this
of him.
list yet, but I saw it on the.
Yeah, Amy speaks very highly of him.
Oh.
Can I jump in on the personnel side, the new business? Are we on the new business?
Do we need to do anything with this stuff?
Anything
We don't have anything to do, it's just been provided FYI.
Okay.
New business.
New business.
So again, I'm going to bring this up again, just I brought it once the first time, but just to see where you guys think with this. So all of these 5 motions are pretty standard type motions. I don't know, do you generally want to do each one separately, discuss each one? Or is that like the desire, or is that just how you know to do it?
That's just how we know to do it. Is there a different?
Unless there's a major change, I think where there's something to be, I know we've had a couple of discussions, but generally we just pass them, yeah.
Just go through them.
Yeah, I think our previous discussions just on like looking at the list of people we're approving as well, like around coaching, is to make sure that we are including paid and non-paid coaches, which I don't think is really a thing for this season, but within, like, when we get into basketball, there's often a head coach,
Okay.
assistant coaches, there's volunteer coaches.
Sure. They all have to be
and-
approved.
And making sure that all of those names come through and they're approved, and if they're outside, that Amy usually, I think, handles the background
Okay.
check. So I think the board's assumption is that the names that are coming through have gone
Okay.
through, they've been background checked.
So the board approval isn't an option, you have to board approve them.
He's talking about the
It's a question
discussion.
of where.
What?
You're talking about the discussion.
Yeah, so you have them under new business,
They could be under
they
consent.
could be under consent.
Yeah.
I actually don't care. I just was asking how you prefer it. I just wasn't sure if this is just the only way you've known to do it or how you prefer
I
to do
think
it.
I think if it depends, if it's like these type of things where they're coaches, it's hard, like you're like, oh, we're gonna,
Well-
stand out for a teacher, not a, like that's what's hard, yeah.
I think my only thing, well, it's always in basketball season, I always ask, do we have all of the coaches? Because that seems to be
Sure.
so I think like, I don't know that it matters where it is necessarily, but that's one of the things that I usually check on for
Okay.
basketball.
And we can leave it as that, actually, as there's nothing wrong. It's not like it's good or bad. I was just asking for preference. Because you could keep it as a consent agenda, then you see them all, they'd all be on your consent, agenda. You'd see it exactly the same. They just wouldn't be a motion for each one.
I think those in the town like to hear who's
See each
coaching
one?
their children's teams.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think in
I
a
think-
consent
I think-
agenda, you're missing that
You would
piece.
not hear that, correct?
Right, so I think that for those in the town that,
Okay. So just leave it
Listen.
as is and keep moving.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You're talking about just the personnel, or are you talking about all of the new business?
About
like-
budget
No,
transportation.
no, no,
Yeah,
no,
it's
just
just
personnel.
personnel? Okay.
Oh, okay, just personnel.
personnel.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that it
that's a
could
strong
impact-
reason though.
it could impact the kid's, teacher or their,
Yeah.
somebody that their bus driver or whatever,
and
so.
for new parents, it puts a name to the person, we all know Amanda Gould, but if you're a new parent in town and you don't understand like how much she puts into all of the performances and the musical, department, I think that this is a good place for parents to be able to hear that.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, we have a motion to, for
I'll
the
make the
board to
motion.
approve Amanda Gould as the music director.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, unheard, motion passes. A motion for the board to approve Andrea Kelly as the athletic director.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have to make motions on these? Is it because there's a pay
Yeah.
associated with it?
Yeah, that's
That
my,
that was the point, so.
that was
Oh.
my, like,
Because like you
There
would
are-
expect the
there is
music teacher to
pay.
be music, maybe.
So it's expensive, but it's exactly that.
Okay.
You're gonna go through each one, make an individual motion, but
Okay.
to Valerie's point, you're saying, if you're on
Just
consent
listen.
agenda, you would not be saying the names.
Okay, that's fine, we
Oh.
can do it.
So this allows you to say the names.
It's just more
I don't know,
air-
Dee Dee,
air
if we could
bagging
maybe
I have to
make,
do, it's
you
fine.
could do it differently.
We
You might
like
be
your
able to do it
new-
where it's one motion to approve.
all of
All
it.
of them.
Yes.
You could do one motion to approve the following,
Yes.
and then you could still read the following,
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and make
that
one motion.
makes sense.
There's a middle of the road compromise.
Perfect, we do like it.
But for today, since the way it is, you're gonna go through normal.
Okay.
You
don't have
to.
Do you want me to use different accents for each one?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, we just want to make these meetings shorter.
Well, we got through Andrea, right? There we go. We motion, okay. A motion for the board to approve Peter Trahan as head soccer coach. All in favor?
Motion.
Motion.
Any opposed? None heard, motion passes. A motion to approve the board, for the board to approve Kristen Pellenin as the assistant soccer coach.
I don't know, I'm not sure.
Aye.
That's my sister-in-law. I was just joking. Yeah.
Aye.
Motion. Aye, yes,
Wait,
Gordon.
hold on, wait, that's interesting. Hold. Is she actually your sister-in-law?
Yeah, she is.
You have to recuse yourself.
Okay,
Abstain.
abstain,
Oh, you have a conflict
a
of
conflict of
interest.
interest.
You can't vote to approve money going towards a
A
family.
family member. That makes sense. Abstain, Kristen.
I need a different second then. Second.
Oh.
Thank you.
All in favor?
I protect you.
Aye.
Aye. No, no's, and motion passes. Anyway,
Wait, can I actually say something as Kathy only? Are you also related to Kristen?
I'm
You're
not voting.
Right, we don't have a quorum if it's just the three of us.
You still have a quorum.
Usually
Oh.
included in that.
Yep, the quorum is for the meeting.
For the meeting
to occur.
itself, okay, but so we can have only 3 votes on a motion
Yes.
then? Okay,
You vote whoever is voting.
okay,
This might come up a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know,
It's gonna come up
that's
a
why I
lot
was
with
asking
these
the question.
motions.
That does,
So-
so there's something
It's gonna come up
called
a lot.
a necessity. I forgot the term. There's something called something of necessity, where if there's enough conflicted, you call up the doctrine of necessity. The doctrine of necessity allows you to bypass the proper number of votes.
Okay.
So you have 1, 2, 3. Oh, Kathy just.
I don't think she's on there. That's why I was asking.
Oh, I thought you had still the 4. I didn't know you weren't voting. You weren't voting on someone?
Can,
The same person?
Whenever we do all in favor or whatever, you are included.
Yeah, I mean, I can be, I'm recusing myself for Kristen as well.
Because she's family,
because
right?
she's family.
So you
So
vote
it's just the 3 of us.
abstain,
Mhm.
abstain to,
Family,
it's
Conflict, right?
Yeah, it's nepotism.
But is the 3 of us enough to pass that motion was my question, since there's not 4.
Well, the doctrine of necessity, one of you is enough.
Okay.
Should you have a reason, and so we're gonna say yes for today.
Okay.
I'll double check it, but even if you don't have enough, you
She
have
was
to,
on, she just flipped off, I'm sure she.
You can
was.
still apply the doctrine
you
of
have to
necessity.
be
I could
able
text her.
to pass board business,
Mhm.
even if there are conflicted people that cause there not to be a majority.
Oh, there she
Oh,
is.
there she is.
She's trying.
So
to-
once Kathy, we solve that anyway.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Do you want to go to the last one and then we'll come back to that one? Okay. So a board to approve, a motion for the board to approve Jackson Buffmack as the Sacred Heart University intern.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard, motion passes.
So what I've done in the past with this is if we know there's a vote coming that you can't vote on, we would try to give you that information ahead of time, so that we avoid an accidental vote, putting a board member in a position where they voted on someone who's a family member too, which is, not supposed to do that, so.
Yeah.
Not trying to be
And
difficult.
how many,
Yeah, because
like,
you should
how
know
many
ahead of
cousins
time.
removed?
Yeah,
I mean, like, how family is family?
There's rule on that.
Right,
I have to,
right. Because that means we wouldn't vote on them.
yeah, I want to
You
find,
got it.
that'll be in cable, have all that. Cable have,
Family is
cable have
Family
a,
is family.
in Voluntown.
I was gonna say, because everybody somehow around here.
Not me.
Not you.
Not me.
Right? Just.
So, but that's what it is. It's there's like, so for example, technically, if you're,
Closest we can get.
if you're, well, don't know the coach part, it could be worse. If you have let's say one of your children or direct relatives, say sister or brother, a child, worked in the district, you technically can't vote on my contract.
Yeah, I heard.
You would have had to recuse yourself from the vote to elect your superintendent, your principal, anything to do with the principal, anything to do with anyone who supervises the person who's that person. So the question of how deep that goes, we'll find out. So, see, you hire a new superintendent, you're stuck now, because you're gonna get all this stuff from me.
Right? You're the only one voting then, because we all have kids in this.
No.
No.
No, not a kid in school, works.
Oh, work.
Yeah.
Got it.
Works. Think of it this way, Megan, if your husband works in the school and I supervise, you voting, the husband, you voting on my evaluation.
Impacts him.
Well, it
therefore,
could, if
yeah.
you give me a bad evaluation, you would never do that, but if you were to give me a bad evaluation, that would be negative for him potentially, right? So there's rules in place to protect board members from ever the appearance of impropriety, for lack of another term. Did Kathy agree?
Kathy, can you hear us? You might need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, because she's muted.
I can't do it for her.
If you ask her though, it should
It'll
pop up on
pop
her screen.
She's still muted.
Sorry.
Oh, you can ask her, but she has to unmute on her end.
I'm gonna call
My brain's just going.
Well, does
Have
she
to
need
walk
to be
up
a
to it
second?
right
Or
now.
This is the problem.
somebody else be a second?
Generations and families and all that.
It's just
Oh, she's unmuted.
Well, I don't think, we just need the quorum to meet. We don't need a quorum to
We just need to
decide.
vote, yeah.
I don't.
But they need a
Hi Kathy.
maybe
We can use the
doctrine of.
doctrine of, yes.
Yeah,
Might be
well,
closer
we
to
can't hear
Connecticut.
you, but, they just need a second to a particular motion to approve Kristen Pellinen as the assistant soccer coach. Would you be willing to be the second on
yes.
that?
Just vote.
Just a vote. Just a vote, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you,
No,
Kathy.
so we're covered no matter what. We're good. All legit legal. we're good.
Okay. All in favor, motion passes.
I'm not talking anymore at this point.
We love the insight.
I'll take you anyway.
I didn't eat a cookie. It's very
That's
good.
why we can't have nice things.
Unfortunately, we all like to learn, so we're just like,
I
really,
know.
please,
Yes.
explain it more. Like, so interesting.
What were we supposed to
do
again?
I'll find out to make sure that Connecticut is not different. I doubt you're different.
It's Robert's Rules of Order,
It
right?
is.
That's
It's Robert's
pretty
rules. I doubt
standard,
on this
it's
issue
not.
it's different.
Okay, budget preparation for, the following budget season. Let's do the timeline.
So I gave you the timeline. Do you want me to go over that here as well, or you have it?
You have it.
You good to go?
And quickly review it, just really quick,
So basically,
for those who are.
start in September, we look at the functional object report, we do all of our transfers, but it gets meaty around February. It's where we get
Like
meaty.
January, February,
January, February, we get meaty. And at that point, I'll be presenting histories, specific line items that are of concern, looking at how we're budgeting to see, let's say we budgeted, let's use the buses for example. We could either choose to maintain the $99,000 budget, to Valerie's point, and add an extra $7,000 to each year's payment, like you do on a mortgage payment, an extra, pay every 2 weeks instead of every month. And we could do things like that, or next year we'll reduce the budget to be the cost of the loan. So it'll be an adjustment based upon that. I'm gonna go through every line, which I'm sure they did everyone does that, go through every line and making sure. I'm also gonna do another step right on here. I wanna look at every, it's gonna be lengthy, but it'll help me learn. Looking at how each category, the money is being spent. I had an experience once where we were ordering this paper. There was a newsprint, Val, you might know about this kind of paper, newsprint paper.
Paper.
And it wound up that the way they did ordering, and this was my first principalship, the way they did ordering in that school was the custodian handled the ordering of the basic supplies. And so apparently there was a teacher at some point that liked this, and it was purple. It was like a lavender. Val really likes this. I can send you to the closet, it's probably all still there. And there was this paper, and it came in cases. And we needed the room, the closet, because we needed to add a small group room. And so we're going through this closet, and the back of the closet, like that, looks just like that, are stacks of this boxes of this paper that no one's used. Well, that teacher retired 10 years prior, but the custodian just kept ordering the same order over every year. So now if I knew Valerie back then, I would have sent her all of the paper.
All the paper. All the pretty paper.
So it just helps.
Yeah.
It'll help me to do that. And it also looks at how we spend money on things like the maintenance of the buses and all that. So it's laborious, but for the first year, it'll be very helpful. So that'll just be a part. You'll get that after I've done it. You don't have to
Also
do
the
it.
maintenance of like the technology, because we've run into some stuff like with the smart
Everything.
boards and all of that.
Furniture.
Some surprises.
Yeah, it just helps me. It really helps me understand how we spend money, rather than just look at the one sheet.
Excellent. That's great. And then we have the transportation software. The those are called easy routing software. So that was brought up during our transportation consultation report, yeah.
So it's a small investment, actually, $4,000, it would be for next year, obviously this year's over. $4,000, and you might just find you can save a bus. I mean, imagine if you can actually save a route. 4,000 is nothing in comparison. I don't know if we will, but it might speed up even how much we spend getting our routes ready.
Yeah.
So that costs us money in personnel.
Are you saying it's not an option for this year because?
We've already done it. Routes are done.
Oh.
So by the time we even got this up and running, kids would be walking to school for the foreseeable future, so we can't do it yet.
That's probably why Anne was like, what do you think about this? And the whatever May meeting or something like that. She's like, how about this?
Plus, I need time to look at it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was a little too fast.
We made a good choice just to
Yeah, just hold
do some.
and let's look at it. But if it's really only cause I worry there's other costs. If it's really only $4,000 a year for routing software, that's really good.
I don't even think it was 4,000 a year. I think it was an initial 4,000 and then that was just like a yearly subscription, if I recall.
Yeah,
Right?
the consultant gave like 2 or 3 different
Yeah,
options.
for it.
Yeah.
And there
I
might have
wanna
been
say
some
it was
interest
wasn't it
of
like 700
town sharing
or
too.
something, or-
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah, but like you
we're
said.
gonna be looking at it for the purpose of getting digital or electronic eyes on this rather than be all human.
Of course.
So. How's that?
Okay, so we need a motion?
No,
Oh, okay.
just an update.
Okay.
I think I was kind of pushing that because I was like, what about that easy router? But at least
Yeah.
there's more detail with that about when we need it and,
We have time right now, which is good.
Okay, annual due process notification. That's a normal notification that would just requires a motion. It's on the school website, right, Dee Dee?
Yes, it's already posted. Amy has it. She's gonna check with department heads to make sure they're in compliance with everything that's listed in this. But it's just one of those things, you got it.
I'll make a motion.
To acknowledge receipt of the due process notification.
Acknowledge receipt,
Yes, okay. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None heard, motion passes. Okay, and now the school medical advisor for 2025-26, Dr. Geller.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? To approve Dr. Geller as the 2025-26 medical advisor. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. Motion passes to approve Dr. Geller. Thank you for another year of service to our children. Okay, so our upcoming meeting dates, the regular board meeting is the 11th, September 11th at 6 o'clock here. I did want to give you all, I mean, if you want to just take one of these, this is the sign-up sheet for the CAVE conference. So just take it, so in case you're thinking that you might have the day to give on Friday, or I think Friday is the best day, but they do stuff on Saturday too. But just, it gives you the link of like, what the agendas look like and so forth. I will definitely be there with Scott, and Kathy sometimes comes, but
Come join us.
come join us. We'd love to have you.
Going to Friday.
But we're
I am.
not going to Mystic Pizza. Just putting it out there.
Wow.
Not going to Mystic Pizza. Not okay. No. Sorry. Drawing the line.
Hard time.
No, but not that.
Oh, I think you can Mr. Pizza too, a little closer.
Right,
Yes.
take one off the table. I mean, both of them.
Pizza choose.
Fine.
It's fine.
Not if you want.
Did you watch the movie? Mr. Pizza 2 is in.
I do like the movie.
Julia Roberts.
I know.
They have great garlic knots.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so any other questions or concerns we need to bring up for tonight? Not.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So fast today.
Motion passes to adjourn at 7.
What?
What is that? That is
12.
12.
What?
7:12.
It's not.
For the record.
What?
Oh, that's for Kathy to sign, so she's not able to sign it, sorry. Did you sign?